Hi guys, welcome to Daughter of Light Tarot. In today's reading we are going to see what the moon is illuminating for you, what you need to release, and what transformations are heading your way. Please remember that these are general readings and not personal readings. If you are interested in a personal reading, you can contact me on Facebook or Instagram. The links are in the description box down below. Okay, I'm going to set out your piles now. I recommend that you choose the pile that you are intuitively drawn to. If you want to skip ahead to your pile, the timestamps are in the description box down below. This is pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. I'm going to add the crystals now for those of you who prefer choosing with crystals. For pile 1 we have a clear quartz, for pile 2 we have a smoky quartz, and for pile 3 we have an opal. This is what they look like close up. The clear quartz. And here we have the smoky quartz. Okay. And the opal. Alright, I will see you in your pile or piles if you're drawn to more than one. Hi pile 1, welcome to your moon reading, what the full moon wants you to know. Okay, please bear in mind that this is a general and not a personal, so keep what you feel is meant for you and leave behind that which is not. Okay, your first card is the Queen of Cups in reverse. I'm going to shuffle the rest of the cards now. And then we're going to see what you get. And then we are going to see what tonight's full moon in Gemini means for you and what I want you to know. So, let's get to it. Alright. And then here is our full moon in Gemini, saying the answers that you need are coming. So your second card is the Devil in reverse. And your third card is the Three of Cups in reverse as well. Okay, so what I know about the full moon in Gemini is it is all about communication and speaking the truth. Okay, but also with this full moon in Gemini, it tells us to be mindful of our words, that we must say what we mean, but we don't need to do it in a nasty manner. But it's all about communication. So what this full moon is illuminating for you with the Queen of Cups is your repressed emotions, or the things that you feel and think without saying them, putting them to the one side so that you don't hurt people's feelings, Gemini is about communication and is asking you to communicate it. By communicating your feelings, it allows you to be authentic and true to yourself. And also, by not communicating what you need, think, or feel, you aren't exactly giving the people around you the space or place to love you in the way that they would like to. But then on the other side of that, by telling people what you truly think, feel, and need, you might also have the fear that they aren't going to do it and that perhaps they're going to react poorly. But through those, the difference between those two reactions from the people around you is that the one values you and the other one does not. So perhaps you aren't speaking because you fear that people do not value you. So the advice that I am getting for you here is, by speaking what you feel, think, and need, is that technically you don't have anything to lose, because the people that do react negatively, they weren't there in the first place. They were just there for themselves, using you, which also is not okay, because you deserve more. And this is also giving you the opportunity to value yourself. Are you going to continue letting this behavior continue, or are you going to step back, step away, or put your foot down and be like, hey, I matter too, and I'm not going to put myself aside for you. You don't do that for me. Okay, the second card represents what you need to release. So usually I like to say that this card means your bad habits or the things that you use to limit yourself, not the actual devil. Or if I'm looking in terms of what the full moon is illuminating for you, I think you need to let go of your fear around people. And perhaps your fear of not being accepted or loved or valued is what you need to release during this full moon. By releasing your fear of other people and what they think of you, you give yourself the freedom to love yourself and accept yourself as you are, to allow yourself to feel what it is that you feel and not pushing that away, because what you feel is what you feel. And again, by looking at what perhaps you have, what you worry about what people think of you, you need to take a look at why that matters to you. Not that these people think this of you, but why do you put that judgment and limitation upon yourself? Is it important? Is it something that you value as a person? How can you let it go if you don't? Are you willing to let it go if you don't? I mean, if you are chasing perfection, there is no such thing. There is you and the best that you can give in that moment, every moment of every day. Sometimes those moments differ, but sometimes you cannot give as much as you usually do. And that also is okay, and that also is good enough. There's like no point in beating yourself up about that. On the other side of this, of repressing your feelings and not speaking up about it, there is the ways that you need to look at of your repression. Do you do it by going out and getting drunk? Do you do it by the bad habit of people pleasing? Do you sit and binge watch TV every night, series every night, to not have to think about that, to not have to feel it? Are you afraid of feeling your feelings? Perhaps that is what Luna is asking you to look at as well. Luna being the moon. Alright, so this card then now represents what is getting ready to emerge and to be transformed. So once you do speak up about the things that you feel and you do see who does value you, you open up the chance for authentic relationships, people that are actually there for you, people who want to be there for you. and you get to see who values you and who does not. If you do continue to not speak your mind, speak your heart, you are closing that opportunity, close that opportunity for inauthentic relationship. And what then emerges is people more using you, abusing you, not being considerate of your feelings and such. So once again, the choice is completely and totally up to you. Once you decide which path you choose to take, you can then have a hand in the type of relationships you create with those around you. Do you want a meaningful bond with people, or do you prefer the surface level where your feelings don't get touched on because it's safe, you know that it's comfortable, and you don't need to delve deep in, which means you don't need to share yourself with others? Which do you value? Which do you choose? Both is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. If that's what you prefer, then you go and do that. If you prefer having authentic relationships, then that's cool too. It means a lot of work. Nothing comes easy. It's not easy going. Neither path is easy going. But again, the path is for you to choose. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you need? Okay, now getting to the full moon. So the moon obviously has a cycle. When it is new moon, you start with your affirmations, your intentions, what is it that you want to reach for the month, and then therefore the full moon represents the harvest of that. So from the new moon up until the full moon you build, and from the full moon back to the new moon you enjoy what you have built, and it goes back down to where you start again anew. Alright, so the full moon in Gemini wants you to know that it is important to speak your truth, but remember that your words have consequences and impact your listener. Right now you need to guard against indiscretion. The answers you need may well come soon. The issue you're facing could well be one of a few conversations away from being resolved. If you're inquiring about a love situation, apparently a little flirting is called for. If you're in the middle of an argument, this card comes to you as a reminder of the old, very non-Gemini message, least said, soonest mended. It is good to talk, but be careful you aren't causing yourself any issues with your words. Words have enormous power. As metaphysician Florence Scovel put it, your word is your wand. You create magic and your own reality every time you express yourself. And what the moon would like to teach us is talk, and more talk as the emotional full moon moves into the communicative sign of Gemini. It's too easy to say too much, so mind how you go if you pull this card. This card can also indicate an enjoyable social event, since the full moon in Gemini is a great time for socializing, hence the Three of Cups. So for those of you who have not been speaking up, speak up, but mind your words, especially around this full moon. She is feeling a little bit heavy. Alright, thank you for being here, and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please like the video, and if this reading resonated, please tell me about it in the comments. I would really like to know. I do enjoy hearing from you, but I will see you next time. Hi pal 2. Please bear in mind that this is a general reading and not a personal reading. So keep what you feel is meant for you and leave behind that which is not. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle after I've revealed this card for the rest of your cards, and then we are going to see what tonight's full moon in Sagittarius in Gemini wants for you to know. Okay. So you have the Two of Cups. I'll just put that there. Get the rest of your cards. Okay. Your second card is the Two of Swords. 2 is hey with Gemini, which is the Two Faces. And then you have the Tower reversed. And then for the 8th full moon, we have a full moon in Gemini, meaning the answers you need are coming. So Gemini is for communication and truth and speaking your mind. With the full moon in Gemini, it is giving us a heads up to be mindful of our words, because there are people who do listen to us. So let us see. So this card is representing what the full moon in Gemini is illuminating for you this full moon. The second card is what you need to release. So straight up here I'm feeling is doubts and indecision. Okay, and then the third card here is what transformation is happening and what is getting ready to emerge. Which straight up here with the Tower is change. The ending of the old and the beginning of the new. Right here with the Two of Cups, the full moon is illuminating for you, or what can no longer be hidden is interpersonal relationships. What is happening between them, that there is no such thing as easy and straightforward and good. Well, there is there's like a spectrum of it, but even if it's like on the best side of the good spectrum where things are most of the time calm, there's still sometimes bad in terms of that there's miscommunication and tips. So that's what that is speaking about. The relationships, they are to be worked on and built. They don't just happen and they don't just exist. They need to be worked on by everyone that is involved, you and the other. So here we have 2, 2, and 2. So between you and the other. Either two people want a relationship to work. Now I'm not just talking relationship between partners, I'm talking familial relationships, friendships as well. Either both parties put in effort or one of the other doesn't, which then is automatically already telling you that this person does not value that relationship either. You hear what I'm saying? And then here we have to release, what can you let go of? I feel like when it comes to people, on the one side you see what their actions are, what their words are, and those two aren't necessarily lining up. But I feel as though if someone does something that is not necessarily the greatest, that you're going, but yeah, shame they're going through this and that and this, when the matter of the fact is that if this person was actually thinking about you, they would not have done that. If this person actually valued you, they would not have done that. So then it comes to you struggling. Perhaps what you need to release is perhaps the fear of not being valued and not wanting to face that this person does not value you. Or perhaps what you don't want to face is the conflict by speaking up about it. Now, there are, according to the full moon in Gemini, ways that you can approach it without being nasty. Like, being nasty is like attacking someone personally, where speaking your truth and someone reacting from it and taking that as a personal attack, that is very different. Because if you did not mean it where it does not mean it is that way. And yes, there are people who twist it around into a personal attack to get to play the victim, because they perhaps don't want to hear the truth from you either. If you get what I'm saying, they'll twist it so they don't have to face the truth, and they don't have to step up and better themselves to be in a better relationship with you. They'll rather just not. They'll turn it against you so that they can keep getting their way and that things can keep going their way. Now, I'm not saying that this person is necessarily narcissistic, but perhaps they are stuck in their own comfort zone. But if you are dealing with a narcissist, please be mindful of gaslighting and you got to protect yourself first when it does come to a narcissist. That unfortunately is the way that it is. And you can go like, oh, but no, this is my mom, or oh, no, this is my dad, or oh, no, I've known this person my whole life. If a person treats you shitty, they treat you shitty. You cannot sugarcoat that. And then again, it is up to you whether you are willing to stay and allow that behavior, or to speak up, disallow that behavior. And if that person is not willing to work on themselves to have a better relationship with you, are you actually willing to walk away? And if you are not, well, then you have chosen allowing this behavior and cycle to continue. What I feel that this full moon is illuminating for you is the shattering of illusions as well. So perhaps you could have thought that this person, place, or situation was this one way, but now things are starting to come to the fore, perhaps through relationships, and you're going, okay, but this is not at all what I thought it was. And I feel as though people are going to resist this breaking of the illusion, this disillusionment, where you also could perhaps be resisting this disillusionment. But either way, disillusionment is being brought up. It could be that you saw this person this way, now you realize, actually, no, they aren't. And then now you do have to start making the tough choices of, do you want a better relationship with this person? Do you want to walk away? Is this person willing to work on the relationship with you, or aren't they? It's not necessarily the best, but once it has been seen, it cannot be unseen. You know, it's like moving forward with this person. You know that they're this way, but now you know that you're allowing this to happen to yourself. Like, it's no longer on that person, because now you've seen the truth. It's now on you, and it's your responsibility, and you are accountable for it if you remain in that same situation, which again most people cannot allow either. They have to change, because you know, you don't want to say to yourself, okay, I'm allowing this. Whereas with other people, you can bring it to the fore, and they are accountable for their part, and they're responsible for their parts in this relationship or situation. You know, if you've given your best up to this point and someone else doesn't, well, then you need to choose. Are you willing to stay, or are you willing to go? Can you continue tolerating this, or can't you? It's completely up to you. Yeah, but this person, I'm really feeling that here, and the message here is release that. Because are you willing to sacrifice your own mental health and personal peace because this person has such a relationship with you, because they are your mother, your father, your uncle, your aunt, your cousin, your best friend of 20 years, or you've been with this partner for 20 years? Are you really willing to sacrifice a good and better life just because you are afraid of it being alone? All right, now we're going to see what the full moon in Gemini says for us. It is important to speak your truth, but remember that your words have consequences and impact your listener. Right now, you need to guard against indiscretion. The answers you need may well come soon. The issue you're facing could well be one or a few conversations away from being resolved. If you're in the middle of an argument, this card comes to you as a reminder of the old, very non-Gemini message: least said, soonest mended. It's good to talk, but be careful you aren't causing yourself any issues with your words. Words have enormous power. As metaphysician Florence Scovelchin put it, your word is your wand. You create magic and your own reality every time that you express yourself. Talk, and more talk as the emotional full moon moves into the communicative sign of Gemini. It's too easy to say too much, so mind how you go if you pull this card. This card can also indicate an enjoyable social event, since the full moon in Gemini is a great time for socializing. All right, there you have it. Thank you for being here and thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this reading, please like the video, and if this reading resonated, please tell me about it in the comment section below. I really do enjoy hearing from you. I will see you next time. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your full moon in Gemini reading. Please bear in mind that this is a general and not a personal, so keep what you feel is meant for you and leave behind that which you feel is not. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle the rest of your cards like normal, and then we are going to see what tonight's full moon in Gemini has for you. So your first card here is the Ace of Cups in reverse. Okay, so for your second card, you have the Ten of Wands in reverse. And your third card is the Ten of Cups. That's actually interesting. And then we have our full moon in Gemini with the answers you need are coming. Okay, this first card, the Ace of Cups, represents what the moon is illuminating for you, which means that which can no longer be hidden. In this case, for you, it is that you cannot pour from an empty cup. So it feels as though you keep emptying your cup to fill other people's cups, meaning you keep spending energy on making sure everybody else is happy, okay, and sorted, but not doing that for yourself. I know it is hard when someone needs something and you need to say no when you know you can give it to them. But there's a difference between being able to give it to them and not being able to give anything, leaving anything for yourself. Sometimes we just have to say no because we can't give to other people. You're going to end up being burnt out, which is what the 10 of Wands sometimes represents, is carrying too heavy of a burden. Now, two things I see here that are being illuminated by the moon for you is that there are people, including yourself, who is seeing that you're pouring from an empty cup. Okay, you are starting to see and feel like you don't have the energy left to keep giving, which is kind of worrying to you because you know that you don't want to end up with a burnout. But on the other hand, what is being illuminated is that you know that there are people who see that your cup is emptying, but yet they keep asking. And I feel as though that is something that you don't necessarily want to see, but they keep taking and taking and taking because you keep giving, giving and giving. But when you do ask back, you don't get back. You remain on empty while their cups are overflowing. And this is not necessarily something that you do want to see, but you are seeing it. And it is definitely being kind of like put up in your face during this full moon. I definitely feel you asking for something back for yourself and you're not getting it because these people who you keep giving to are not giving back to you. And it's not a nice thing to see, and it's not a nice thing to know that the people that you value and treasure don't value and treasure you back in the same way. So that is something that you are going to have to face during this full moon. And what you need to let go of, what Luna is asking you to release, is to please put down the problems that are not yours. If you did not create it, then do not solve it, because not only are you taking away another person's opportunity to learn and grow for themselves, from themselves and their situations, you are emptying your cup, which is also not okay. Now, I don't mean drop kick these people to the side. Offer your advice, but not your assistance. If they need it, and you have the means to give it, then do. But if not, then don't. Now, that's also not a nice thing to observe, is someone suffering when you know you can help. But let's say, for example, you're a mother, and this is now talking about a child of yours that has an obstacle to overcome, and you know that you can solve this obstacle. So then you jump in and you solve the obstacle. So now let's say, not a nice thing to say, but let's say you pass away and your child again has to deal with this obstacle. But now they don't know how to because mommy or daddy did it last time. You see, by picking up other people's problems, you are depriving them of finding their own solutions and learning for themselves. So you do now have the opportunity to yes, you do have the opportunity to help people, yes, but don't do it for them. They need to do it themselves. They don't know how to do it in the future. How are they going to do it? They're going to wait for someone to come and save them. And no one's coming to save anybody. That's not how it works. You've got to save yourself. Allow them the opportunity to do stuff for themselves. Okay. And then here, what I see with the 10 of Cups, transformation and what is getting ready to emerge. So usually they say that this card is a card of happy endings. But I do feel like that from your realizations, what is happening is you might end up finding that you get on better with the people around you by allowing them to do what they need to do, by allowing them to do things themselves, and also by starting to fill your own cup, you will also find you get on better with other people. It is not your responsibility to solve other people's problems or to make other people happy. That is their own responsibility, and once you give them the chance for that, it does happen. Or they go and they leech onto someone else. But at least it's not you, it's not your responsibility. I feel that after this full moon, you'll be having a better chance of communicating with yourself, understanding your own emotions and needs, your wants and your desires. I also feel as though you'll be getting on better, communicating better with the people around you, the people that you live with, the people that you love. Like I'm feeling harmony vibes from this 10 of Cups. Okay, and then I'm feeling here with the answers that you need are coming. All the burdens you've been carrying, the answers that you need are coming. The solutions are coming. Problems do not arise without solutions. If there's a problem, there's always a solution. They come hand in hand. You know, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Same thing. Same principle. Okay, now I want to see what the full moon in Gemini has for us this month. Okay, so this is a reminder that it is important to speak your truth, but remember that your words have consequences and impact your listener. Right now you need to guard against indiscretion. The answers you need may well come soon. The issues you're facing could well be one or a few conversations away from being resolved. If you're inquiring about a love situation, a little flirting may be called for. If you're in the middle of an argument, this card comes to you as a reminder of the old, very non-Gemini message. Least said, soonest mended. It is good to talk, but be careful you aren't causing yourself any issues with your words. Words have enormous power. As metaphysician Florence Scovel-Shinn put it, your word is your wand. You create magic and your own reality every time you express yourself. Talk, and more talk as the emotional full moon moves into the communicative sign of Gemini. It is too easy to say too much, so mind how you go if you pull this card. This card can also indicate an enjoyable social event, since the full moon in Gemini is a great time for socializing. Alright, that is all I have for you for this full moon. Thank you for being here and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please like the video. And if this reading resonated, please tell me about it and how it did in the comment section below. I do enjoy hearing from you. Until next time,